Hello, welcome to the Ravenscroft Sports Report. Today we have an honorary day. It's Halloween, and this is your boy, Chris Corciani.
This is your boy, LJ Young. That's at L.Young on Twitter.
At L.Young.
You already know, Big Mike in the house.
Big Mike, committed to Duke. At Chris Corch Jr. at me.
And we're going to be going around asking people what's their scariest moment in sports.
It's going to get crazy.
What is it? Go, shoot.
Scariest moment in sports was probably when David Reynolds scored on me, because that never happens.
Doesn't look like me, but it is. Scariest moment for me in sports is when I was playing college lacrosse and I got hit with a shot. I'm a goalie. I got hit in the chest and it broke 2 ribs and bruised my sternum and I couldn't breathe. So I was scared for a little while, but then I was able to start breathing again, so that was good. So I'm not scared anymore.
Yay!
The scariest moment in sports for me was when I jammed both of my pinkies.
Yeah!
Moment in sport would probably be when I fractured my elbow, and I threw a pitch and the bone popped off.
You threw a pitch with a fractured elbow?
No, yeah, it fractured after I threw
That's
a pitch.
epic. That's scary.
Oh, okay. My scariest moment in athletic training was when Patrick Dorsey smashed his arm into the bleacher and I picked up his wrist and it was in like a million pieces.
Yeah, I remember I was in the batting cage. It was Little League Baseball. It was probably 9 and under. And I was facing Cuban defect. His name was like Carlos Dominguez, something like that. I was going up against him, and that was a big timer. And the Stu was throwing steam, and he threw it right by my head. And I was in it. And then the next pitch came and got me in the gut, and it was scary. That's why I quit baseball.
Go.
Scariest moment is when I cut down across Cole Kennedy and all of a sudden Jerron just came from the side and got rocked for about 5 yards.
I was going for a layup and like this big guy came out of nowhere and just struck me in midair. I fell on my back and it hurt really bad. That's my scariest moment.
Yeah.
My scariest moment was definitely my junior year. We were at a basketball practice and Coach Billerman said, "Get on the line."
My scariest moment would be doing a bicycle ride to Washington, D.C. We were running a pace line at about 16 miles an hour, and another cyclist came up and passed me and cut in on the pace line in front of me, and then he slammed on brakes on his bike. So I had to swing out to keep from running into the rear of him and went down so I wouldn't get run over by about 100 bicyclists behind me and fractured a bone in my arm. So that would be my scariest moment.
Thank you.
My scariest moment or sports moment was when I was hiking and a bunch of people went up this trail in Asheville in the mountains and decided to jump off about a 60-foot ledge. And when I jumped into water by a waterfall, which I thought would be completely safe because water is safe, I hit straight down, but even a teeny bit off, if you're not straight in, you may as well be jumping off a building onto concrete, and I had a compression fracture, T12, and chipped the bone. So I broke my back. I was in a metal brace for 6 months, rehab for 2 years, surgery after that. It was a long haul. So don't ever jump off of anything over 25 or 30 feet because water doesn't give. It looks friendly, but it's not. Be careful.
It's life lessons.
Whoa.
Okay, the most interesting and worst sports injury I've heard of is where my best friend was playing at the University of Indiana and he got elbowed by Quinn Buckner in the middle of practice. He was a freshman and it moved his nose all the way to the side. And Coach Knight walked over and said, "He's all right, fix him up." Walked over, trainer took out a pair of pliers, put it in his nose and straightened his nose and he went back to practice. Great story.
Two pretty nasty sports injury stories. The first one was I was in 4th grade. We had this kid in our class, Mitch Whiteman. Wasn't very athletic. We're playing soccer, and he's running down. A guy slide tackles him, and his leg bone went straight through, fractured in half, right through, sticking out the side. Mitch lies on the ground, and he goes, "He-Man and the powers of the universe."
This moment occurred out on the football field during a game. It was late in October, and Cole Gannett had received a pass from Hayden Maples. When he caught the pass, turned to go, and absolutely was lit up by the linebacker, so much so that when he was hit, you could see the beads of sweat just absolutely move from his body in the lights. It was gorgeous color, but it was very frightening in the fact that as soon as he was hit, he went straight down to the ground. No movement. In 39 years of being on an athletic field, that was one of probably the most scariest moment that I've ever had.